Alright, so in this one, I want to go over the most useful equipment in the game. Most useful, whatever you want to call it. Not the best, because the best would be pretty easy list to make, honestly. But the most useful. Now, some of these you might disagree with your teams you're maining, and or, not maining. So, if I say uh, this equipment doesn't make the cut because I don't necessarily main girls, and I don't think it's one of the best teams, which, it is a very good team, but it's just kind of gimmicky. Um, that's why. It's going to be based off the best teams slash the best equipment for the units on those teams. So to go in order, I would say number five is a little bit of a toss up here, right? Because the best team right now is Saiyan, Sun Family, Regen is kind of up there, and well, Future's kind of up there, right? So I would say number five is this equipment. Saiyans don't do limits. I think it was from PvP you could farm up, and I think Exchange Shop now in the future event that is out now with Future Gohan, I believe you could farm this up. Base blast defense, critical, strike attack, and this is really the kicker: a raw buff to blast attack for each battle member. So if you don't know the difference between, let's say, base blast attack and to blast attack, it is multiplied into it. So if you have base blast attack, it is just normal. It just stacks on top of your other stats. But if you have two blast attack, it's multiplying into your blast stat that is on that character itself. So if you have blast attack and this is a red slot, it's 5%. It's completely maxed out 5%. It'll be 15% to your blast stat that it's increasing, and it's multiplying a lot heavier and making your units actually do a lot more damage. Now, there's diminishing return on buffs and Z abilities and all that for your team. Like, let's say, in reality, you Zenkai buff somebody. If you quadruple Zenkai buff one unit, there's a diminishing return where the Zenkai buffs do not actually mean as much as they, seem to. You'll see the ability bonus go really high, but the Zenkai buffs actually do not give you as much of a boost after you hit a certain cap. I believe it's 100 and something, 160 percentage of that unit being buffed. Then there's a diminishing return where you are not getting as much buffs as you were with, let's say, one Zenkai buff. So in reality, one Zenkai buff is almost as good as like a 5 Zenkai buffed unit. Just so you know. Same applies for equipment because obviously that's stacking on top of your ability bonus and all those stat increases. So I would say this one's very good for the fact that critical is obviously, something that can make or break a game. If you're in criticals, you do more damage. Criticals you can't stop. They're unstoppable and broken, honestly. Look at Bardock. Base blast attack, or just blast attack, rather, is very good because Future is heavily blast based, but if you have, like, let's say, LF Rose and you use him, you have strike attack as well being buffed with critical on his bleed cards, which every single card can bleed. You have a lot of damage that can come in from any direction with strike attacks or blast attacks. Blast defense isn't, the best because most teams are actually you know what? Blast defense isn't terrible because a lot of teams are blast based, but a lot of teams are also strike based, like Super Saiyans are strike based. But Sun Family, Saiyans, blast based, so it's not terrible. I would say that one's kind of the bottom of the list, which is kind of hilarious. To go into my, let's say, number 6 option that didn't make the cut, it would be the Gua equipment. Everyone knows this one if you farmed equipment at all. Base strike defense up to 18%, and then 7% to strike damage inflicted per tag Frieza Force battle member, and then 7% to damage blast damage inflicted per tag Frieza Force battle member for Extreme Frieza Force. 2 reasons this didn't make the cut. Again, this is based off of teams. So Frieza Force, obviously, Extremes, that's what the equipment's for. So let's say EX Frieza, EX Ginyu, EX Raccoon, whatever. They aren't good. They're just not good enough. They don't make the cut. And oh boy, it's just impossible. Truly, this equipment's just impossible. The more reason is the team just isn't good enough. But if you farmed equipment at all, you will know this is probably one of the best unawakened equipments in the game. But to get this Z, probably will take you over 300 to 500 erasers if you're lucky. Like, truly lucky. Very, very, very broken equipment because it's doing raw buffs to your stats on strike and blast up to 21%. That's basically a new Z ability with this equipment. You have a Z ability for strike and blast attack. And honestly, strike defense gets up to 18%. That's not low. And that's why the rates on it are so terribly, unequivocally bad as fuck. And to go over again, I know I mentioned it a little bit, but no, we are not doing awakened equipments, the new platinum equipments. So like this, the new platinum equipments or LF equipments. So like this one we're not doing. And what else? And EX equipments we're not doing. We're doing ones that are actually, I would say, more for just everyone. Like you could get them now. This is a little bit of a guide, not necessarily one. It just kind of ends up to be a guide to help you. So yeah, this isn't fully, farm these new platinums, blah, 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 blah. No, it's just random equipments that are very good for meta teams currently out. So we went over number 5. Number 4, I kind of had a difficult decision with here. It was between this, where'd it go? Hold up, I have to find it again. Between this one, because it is for Saiyans, and Saiyans are meta, and between, if I could find it down here, this one. I will say Blah feels to be number 4 over Saiyans Don't Do Limits, just because Saiyans are more meta than Regen, and this one's a lot more restrictive. The only reason I rate this so high is because that middle slot and last slot are so fucking huge. So this one is base blast defense up to 15%, special move damage up to 12.5%, ultimate damage up to 12.5%, and strike attack up to 21.5%. Now, for these that it has special move and ultimate, I really don't care about the ultimate. Let's say I have this equipment, and I'm like, okay, I have a regen melee type. Okay, I'm going to rock this on yellow DKP. I don't care about the ultimate, personally, because that strike attack buff is so high. I truly don't give a fuck if I'm missing out on a slot, because this is higher than a lot of equipments can ever be. This is one of the highest increases an equipment can give you that's unawakened, not platinum, not an LF. Just a regular ass equipment that any Schmo Joe can get from anywhere in the game. Very good for regen melee types, and I would hope people have this farmed up, at least one of them. Again, this is a really hard one to roll that middle slot, but if you can, you're going to do a lot of strike damage and a lot of blue card damage. And, well, if you have a regen melee type, you'll do a lot of ultimate damage. I'd say that is a very good one, personally. Now, I guess we can go through that, yeah. So, each other, I'll go over what could have made the list but didn't make the list. This one, I feel people will disagree with, that should be on the list. You're sure to win. Now, this is for Saiyans. That's why it makes the list, because it's very vast, very open. First slot is base blast defense, up to 15%, base blast attack, up to 18%, special move damage, up to 13%. Now, the reason everyone may think, yeah, this should be on the list because blast attack, special move damage, that's perfect for Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? Yes, but it's so low of stats. Super Saiyan 3 Goku has much better options. Honestly, we're going to go over both of them, I would say, in this video. He doesn't need this. He has enough to where he doesn't have to rely on small increment increases because his platinum's broken. His other two equipments are very good for Goku / Saiyans. You know, that's a hint to number 1. And truly, it's just not necessary enough for the other main core Saiyan members. I would say, yeah, this is like a very, very amazing sub option for a lot of, units like Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. You could use this on him. It's a very good sub option because it's focusing on the stats he wants to increase, blast attack and special move damage, but it's not something you have to use on him. There's obviously other options that you could see as better or worse. I would say them to be better than this. Now, number 3. Again, you may disagree with my choices. It is okay. Do not fret. It is not a problem if you disagree with my choices. If you feel like there's other equipment that are just better, let me know what you guys think are the better equipment. Obviously, I read every fucking comment, so let me know what you guys think are actually better choices than what I am picking right now. Now, number 3 was also a toss-up once again between this one for Hybrid Saiyan Future and, where is it? This one for range types. Now, the reason for the toss-up is because Hybrid Saiyan Future is a little bit more limited than range types, just a little bit. But it is very good equipment for, let's say, Super Saiyan 2 Trunks, any Trunks unit, honestly, because it's Hybrid Saiyan Future. But I would say this takes the cake for number 3. Base Ki Recovery up to 10%, Special Move Damage up to 12%, and Base Blast Tech up to 20%. Now you might say, but that last one you're sure to win was higher stats for, I think, Special Move Damage. Yeah, but I don't care about defense for LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I don't. There's no point to it. He already has, top 10 defense stats in the game plus his Platinum equipment. I run this equipment over that one for my LF Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Because up to 20% for Blast Tech, that's 2% more. Then Special Move Damage, it's only down, I believe, 1 to 2%. And then Ki Recovery. That guy wants Ki Recovery because he has a lot of fucking card draw speed. Then you have your green card you could float away with and just chill out and gain Ki while just floating, randomly. And then it just more encumbers what he wants to do rather than giving him defense for slot and giving him a little bit more Blast Tech. So I would say that is number 3. We kind of went over the sub option for it for, this one. Number 2. Now this one should be obvious, right? Number 2 and number 1 should be truly the most obvious things in the game. If you don't know, let me know your prediction of what they are right now. But number 2 is, yes, Battle of Saiyans. I said Saiyans don't do limits. Whoops. Strike Defense. Slot 2, Strike Defense or Blast Defense for 15 timer counts when faced with Saiyan. And then Base Health for Saiyans. I run this on every support Saiyan in the game. So Angel Vegeta, Saiyan Saga Goku, anyone that supports, I'm like, okay, they got to tank a little bit. You're getting this equipment. You're getting Strike Defense for a certain amount of counts, given you're never going to be out for that many counts. So you'll probably get this, slot 2 activated at least twice, I would say. Because truly, you're not going to have your support type be out for 15 counts. You'll probably have them be out for like 5 counts, maybe another 3 counts, maybe another 4 counts. Because you want them in and out supporting, right? You don't want them to stay there. They're not like going to do your hard damage. They're going to support. So you want them in, then you swap out, get more damage on your stronger units. Then you have health, obviously, to supplement them living. This equipment is one of the best in the game. I think this was from PvP, but now it's in the exchange shop. Alright, good. So all of these you can honestly farm, which is kind of crazy, because these are really fucking busted equipment. It is hard to get a ideal middle slot. I would say you more want Blast Defense in this meta. And yes, when faced with a Saiyan, Saiyans are the team of the game. That is literally 90% of every single match you will face. So don't be like, oh, but it's only against Saiyans. No, Saiyans are the game right now. That might change for Anniversary, but currently as it stands, the last month to 3 months, it's been Saiyan. So, one of the best equipments in the game, easily farmable equipment, and I would highly recommend it. Now, number 1. Number 1 is, it is busted as shit. Yeah, I can't even find it. Number 1 is, you know what, I'll just go to my fucking own. I can't find it in this equipment archive. Is right here. Where the fuck? Right here. There we go. It's all up to my fist for Goku's. Base strike defense up to, what, 15%? Yeah. Special move and ultimate damage up to 15%, and advanced gauge recovery up to 15%. Now, why is this so fucking busted? Last slot. Vanish gauge recovery. Okay, so if you don't know, every unit has a vanish gauge stat in their setup, in their stat build. And you can look at it, and you can see who's higher, who's lower, blah, 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 blah. Now, this equipment says, fuck that. We're going to give every single Goku in the game, you know, including the ones that get Vanish back on, like, blue cards, or, let's say, the future Gohan-esque Gokus that are getting their Vanish back on each, maybe Strike Art to use or Blast Art to use. I don't know particularly who does that because I don't, know every Goku's kit in the game. But that idea of, oh, I can do a full combo and have about 80% of my Vanish back because I have this equipment. That's busted. The game is relying on you switching out, switching in, and if you're stopping that from happening, you're messing up the flow for your enemy, so you're fucking them over. You're having more vanishes, which obviously is ideal because the more vanishes you have, the more they have to adapt. So if they're, if they notice you have this equipment, because you can honestly tell when someone has this equipment, they're just vanishing way too quickly. You're like, are they cheating or is this an equipment? Then you'll notice they're a Goku and you'll be like, oh, this fucking thing, This equipment makes them play different. So let's say you vanish, and they're like, okay, I'll wait a second, and then you vanish again. You just got your vanish back because of this equipment. They'll be like, okay, I have to play faster now, right? Because they want to catch you before you get your vanish back with this equipment. Well, that means you can anticipate that. You can anticipate them switching how they're going to play to counter you, and then, boom, just sidestep instantly. You don't have to wait anymore. They're going to try to catch you quickly before you get your vanish back. What? You just outplay them by, predicting. You know that's going to happen. You know they're going to try to catch you before you get it back because it restores so quickly. It's fucking nuts. On top of special move and ultimate damage, every single fucking Goku in the game that's relevant right now, sorry for the voice crack, has an ultimate that's, broken as fuck, LF Super Saiyan 3, and special move, Namek Goku, pretty fucking good, controversial, but good. Then you have strike defense, which is probably the kicker that's, making it go down a little bit because most of the meta is blast based, but, how can you argue with this equipment? It's fucking crazy. It's not even that hard to see. If you don't have this equipment, I recommend you get at least 3 Z of it. Personally, I only have 2 because I don't try to run Gokus every single match of the day. But if you main Sun Family or any type of fucking Saiyan team, anything similar to that, highly recommend you get that equipment Z. But yeah, that's my list. That's my top 5 unawakened, not platinum, not EX equipment, not LF equipment, best equipment in the game. Let me know if you agree or disagree, and I'll see you guys in the next one.